Touch me and slip away. I can't hide feeling out of place. I can't function on my mistake. Thought you were someone I once knew. Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Max and I'm a beginner guitarist, and this is going to be a guitar tutorial for Eden's track Projector. It's a bop. We all know it. We all love it. This one's taken quite a while for me to figure out. I mean, I just taught myself just today how to do it. But of all of the songs I've learned how to play, dude, this one is a doozy, a real doozy. So buckle your seatbelts. I have faith that you can all do it, even if you're a beginner and you've never played guitar before. But it's got a lot in it. So let's just get right into it. So you guys know the drill. First things first, this song is in standard tuning. So E, A, D, G, B, E, get that all set up, and then we'll jump into verse 1 with the first chord. So before we get into it, there's actually one thing that's a little bit unusual for a tutorial of mine, which is that this is going to be taught in a different key than the original song. That's because there's no guitar in the original song from what I can hear, and Eden played this song on a live stream. He played it in a different key. It's definitely better register for my singing voice, at least. I don't know about the rest of you, but the original is written where you're singing either pretty low or pretty high the entire song. So this is actually how Eden played it on live stream, not the original song, because the original song has no guitar. So if you want to play it in the original key, you can obviously just transpose this to a different key, which is kind of a pain. But I don't know, this is where you should come if you want to learn how to play it, how Eden plays it. That's what we're learning. So Eden played in a different key. I'm going to teach it in a different key. So the very first chord is an E chord. Now I'm going to give you guys two different shapes, shape 1 and shape 2, and I'll just use those as reference for the rest of the song, so I don't have to tell you which finger goes on every single string on which frets. So this song is all in Barre Chords, whoop-de-doo. If you've been watching the tutorials, you know that basically every No Future song Eden's put out so far, lots of bar chordage going on. That's what Eden loves to do, and we love that he does it, because it keeps things very, very simple. So this is going to be basically an open E chord. It's one of the first chords you'd probably learn on guitar. It's an open chord, right? So we're only going to be using the E, A, D, and G strings for this entire song, and there's only really 4 chords, which is crazy because you think it'd be an easier tutorial if there were only 4 chords, but he varies things up a lot. So like I said, first chord is an E. That is open E string, A string 2nd fret with your ring finger, pinky on the 2nd fret also of the D string, and then G string is your middle finger 1st fret, just like that. There you go. Now a lot of what makes this song so difficult is that there are a lot of different plucking patterns, different ways that he's plucking, strumming. He switches it up, and all the chords change order a bunch of times. So for the very beginning, he's plucking all 4 together all at once, just like that. And technically, this chord is going to be your shape 1. Usually, you'd be barring the fret above where your middle finger is with your pointer finger, which means your pointer finger is pressing down every single string. So, for example, if we were doing an F chord, your pointer finger is holding down every string on the 1st fret, and then it's the same shape. Your fingers stay the same, and you could move your hand all the way up and down the fretboard with that shape to make different chords, and that's how this song is basically played, all with the same shape. And then if you want to make it a minor shape, you remove your middle finger and make sure that your pointer is still pressing down the string that your middle finger was just removed from, which makes it a minor chord. So that's shape 2. Sorry, I just went off on a little tangent there talking about the shapes, but it's very important for you to know that, I guess, right now before we even do anything else. So we got that first chord, E chord, that you got down now, plucked all together. So touch me and slip away. I can't hide. So on hide, he's going to throw it on up to an A flat. That means pointer finger barring on the 4th fret, and then the minor shape, so shape 2. Just like that. A flat and minor, just to make that clear, sorry. And then after the A minor, he's going to throw it down to an F sharp, which is your pointer finger barring the 2nd fret, shape 1. Though we're only using the first 4 strings, plucking them all together. So those are 3 of like the 4 chords we need to know, right? So the E chord, the A flat minor, and the F sharp. So before I move on into teaching you the order of the chords, I'll just give you an example so you can see it visually, and then we'll talk it through. Touch me and slip away, I can't hide feeling out of place, I can't function on my mistake, thought you were someone I once knew. So before he repeats that, we actually have another new chord. So this is going to be our final chord that we're going to learn basically the entire song, I believe. So this is a B chord. This is your pointer finger barring on the 7th fret, shape 1, some of the major shape. That's a B. So we've got an E to start it off, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, A flat minor, F sharp, E, 5, 6, 7, 8, B, F sharp. And then it basically repeats, but now with different lyrics, and he does vary things up, so I won't say just repeat exactly that because he actually does change things a little bit. So then after that F sharp that we end on, we're back down to an E. So I'll give you an example of what the chorus sounds like now. I was light years ahead of me, thoughts in my head don't disappear, I was a maybe that made you true. So that first chord is an E again, so I was light years ahead of me, thoughts in my head, A flat minor, don't disappear, F sharp, so all the same so far, I was a maybe, all the same, except here he goes to an A flat minor instead of the B, and then he does a hammer on, and then F sharp. So E, A flat minor, F sharp, E, A flat minor instead of the B, and a hammer on the G string. So for the hammer on, after you pluck the A flat minor, you're going to remove your pinky and then pluck the G string again, and then press down with your pinky on the 6th fret so that the sound carries on over into the new note, and then throw it back down to an F sharp. And then we finish it off again with an E, so the major true. So now we've got the refrain, so allow me to give you an example of this section. In time I will come to see if I really was, in my mind it's only false faces whisper Lord. So for this bit, we got quite a bit going on. So we start on that E, and then move up to an A flat minor again, and then we move down to an F sharp like half a count before we usually do. So I actually have a picture of my notes, which I'll put on screen right now. It's kind of hard to make sense of, very messy, but you can see all of the chords, and when I have stars next to a chord, it means instead of going to the chord on beat, like this, you actually get there like half a count early, so it's on the offbeat. So, and what he does for those chords usually is he'll pluck it, and then he'll quickly mute the strings with his fingers by placing all of his fingers on the strings, and then slide down and pluck again. So when there's a star, that's what that means. And for this bit, we moved that chord early. So we got that E where he says, in time I will come to see if I really was. And then what he does there, after the A flat minor and the quick F sharp, he does a little plucking pattern, which I will call pattern 1. So what he does is he plucks the E string with his thumb, and then uses his pointer, his middle, and his ring to pluck the A, D, and G strings all together. So like, so he'll play the E, A flat minor, F minor, and then right on then he goes and switches chords. So right before he switches, he does that plucking pattern, the 1 and then 2, 3, and 4 together. Usually I would say mutes right after 2. So pluck, pluck, mute, change chords. So now all together we've got that E, and then the A flat minor, F sharp, pluck it, down to an E, and then we move up to an F sharp before going into the next little bit. And then he starts to do that plucking pattern 1 that we learned, except he just loops it. So 1, 3, and 4 repeated. He kind of crescendos into that next chord. So the next bit of chords I'm going to teach you is the portion where he says, if that feeling had a price. So here's an example. And if the feeling had a price, and I would gladly pay it over and over and over till I'm broke. And if you held me for ransom, I love it, I never wanna go. So that's the bit I'm gonna teach you right now. So that starts on the A flat minor. He plucks all 4 together and then does the plucking pattern. So, right, so pluck all together, then throw that in there. And then he moves down to the F sharp minor, but he doesn't actually pluck all 4 together first. He just keeps plucking through with that pattern. So you got that A flat minor, then he slides right down, continuing that plucking pattern, and then down to an E, plucks all 4 together, and then we have a new plucking pattern. I know, this is super fun. So I'm calling this pattern 2, and it is our second and final pattern. I'm not quite sure what he's doing here, but what I'm hearing in the live stream, which I'll link in the description if you want to go watch that, is that he's on this E chord, right? If your thumb is 1, and then your pointer finger is 2, and then your middle finger is 3, and your ring finger is 4, you got all those on the strings, right? Is 1, 2, 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 3, and 4 at the same time. So your thumb, pointer, thumb, your middle, and your ring. So you got that A flat minor, F sharp, E. So the rhythm is, it goes like this. I don't know how to describe it, but so you pluck all 4 together, and then you do the plucking pattern. So after that, he moves back up to the A flat minor, and then repeats the exact same pattern. So now on to the next section. So the example for this next section is going to start right after he hangs on that E, where he says, I never want to go home, and it's right before he says, but all this hypothetical thinking. So all this hypothetical thinking is taking me down. And maybe I was seconds away, but it doesn't matter now. He death only seconds away, so no, it don't matter now. Alright, that's roughly what it's going to sound like. There's so much going on. In the grand scheme of things, if you don't want to play it exactly how he plays it, you can vary things up yourself, but this is basically exactly how you played it on the live stream. So, right, we're coming right from where he's hanging on that E, doing the strumming pattern 2, so. And then he goes quickly up to an F sharp on the offbeat, so. Like that. And then quickly again jumps up to an A flat minor, and he's back to strumming pattern 1. F sharp, E strumming pattern 2. A flat minor strumming pattern 2 as well. F sharp minor, same strumming pattern. Then an E, same strumming pattern. And then during the E, he kind of switches back to strumming pattern 1 and then starts doing this again. You can do whatever you want, that's what he does. And then he goes back up to an A minor, and then he quickly mutes it, down to an E, plucks all 4, no strumming pattern, and then up to a B, plucks it all together, and then starts doing the strumming pattern. So let's do that one more time, even more slowly, and then we'll move on just in case you didn't get it. So we're starting that E, strumming pattern 2. F sharp quickly, all 4 together. A flat minor, strumming pattern 1. F sharp, strumming pattern 1. E, pattern 2. A flat minor, same pattern. F sharp, same pattern. E, same pattern, and then he switches patterns after he does that the first time. A flat minor. I think he does it all together, and then strumming pattern 1, mutes it. E all together, up to B all together, then strumming pattern 1. I know it's insanity, and it's absolutely crazy. Just make sure to rewind and replay things until you get it before we move on to the next section. That is the whole first part of the song. Now we're going to move into where he starts strumming. So things are a little bit more free here, and I'll give you an example of the beginning of this verse and how it goes with strumming. And the chords are arranged a little bit differently. Touch me and slip away. I can't hide feeling out of place. I can't function on my mistake. Thought you were someone I once knew. So that is the next little transition bit. So let's go over this really quickly, right? We got that B, the quick F sharp, E, and then he freely strums. I'm strumming differently than how he does because I don't know exactly how he does it. But you can freely strum or try to copy what he does based off of the video he played it in. So he strums this for 4 full bars. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, up to 4 bars. And then he plays the A flat minor for 1 bar, F sharp for 1 bar, E for a bar and like a half, and then he goes F sharp, E, just like before when we plucked F sharp, E. So after he hangs on the E, and then he goes in the next bit. So let's do that. Thought you were someone I once knew. Slight years ahead of me. Voices in my head don't disappear. I was a maybe, that made it true. In time I will come to love it for how it really was. In my mind it's only false faces whisper, see you. So we're going to take that section, and I really apologize for my singing. I literally am focusing so hard on this guitar and my notes, I cannot focus on the singing at the same time, but let's run it through. So we ended off on the E. Thought you were someone I once knew. Thought you were someone I once. Thought you was. So we ended off on that E. Thought you were someone I once knew. And then we quickly do the F E. And then we're on that E for 2 bars. Then A flat minor, F sharp, E. Basically the same pattern we've been doing. 2 bars. And then we're back to that A flat minor. And then a quick transition to the F sharp, so that offbeat. So like 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're back down to E for 2 bars. 2, 3, 4. A minor, A flat minor, F sharp, E, 2 bars. So basically it just repeats. And then where he says see you, it's A flat minor, plucked all 4 together. He's done strumming, and then F sharp minor. And then let's go on through the rest of the song. We're getting there. We're almost done. So for the rest of these chords, it's basically all 4 plucked together. We're basically all done with the plucking patterns and no more strumming. So allow me to finish giving you an example for like basically the rest of the song. See you, and if the feeling had a price, then I would gladly pay it over and over and over till I'm broke. And if you owe me for ransom, I love it, I never wanna go home. But all this hypothetical thinking was seconds away, but it doesn't matter now. He death only seconds away, so no, it don't matter now. So a bunch of stuff going on there. Let's go through it all really slowly. A lot of offbeat chords mixed in there. So we're starting down that A flat minor where he says, and if that feeling at a price, so, and if that feeling at a price, then I would gladly. So that's an offbeat F sharp. So you always mute before you do those. So like mute the strings quickly before, as we've done before in the song. So A flat minor, F sharp, and then E on beat. And then after each transition he does a little, so it's like the same thing as the transition from A flat to F sharp, except it's like twice the length in between. It's funky, but the rhythm is gonna be down the E. That's basically the rhythm. I'm not going to try to explain it, but you'll get it. Right, so we got A flat minor, F sharp, E, all offbeat, and then F sharp, A flat minor, F sharp, E, on beat this time. A flat minor, that was an F sharp, A flat minor, F sharp, offbeat, and then A flat minor, F sharp offbeat, E, and then A flat minor, F sharp, E, and then again A flat minor, except this time E offbeat, and then B offbeat. Right? So that's almost the whole song. We almost got through it. This has been crazy for me. I bet it's been crazy for you. Just make sure to listen back and make sure it's drilled into your brain, right? So then after he plays out this B, it's an easy peasy ride from here on out. So he's just gonna hang on it. I don't know exactly how many counts, but he hangs out for a long time. And then he throws in a little suspended chord, I think, there. I think what he does is, then he's not only using these 4 strings, but he actually bars, so presses down on the 7th fret with his pointer finger. So these other strings ring out too. And then what he does, I think, is he takes his ring and his pinky and moves them up a string. So now your ring finger is on the D string, 9th fret, and then your pinky finger is on the G string, also 9th fret. So it makes that little suspended sound. And then he switches back. It's hard to explain, but he kind of hangs on it at first, right? Strums it through. And then he switches somewhere in there. Starts plucking the upper chords. And then, when he's done strumming that through, and you could strum it through to your heart's content, strum it as long as you want, I don't care. Then he moves down, and then he plucks from here on out. Plucks an F sharp. And then back up to the B. And then down to an E. And then he throws it up to an A flat minor. And we do some fun hammer-on slidey slides here. So what he's gonna do is pluck all 4 on the A flat minor, and then pluck the G string again, and then you're gonna use your pinky to hammer on to the 6th fret G string, and then you're gonna slide up to where your pinky is now on the 8th fret. I couldn't count for some reason, so we got. That's how it should sound. So you want to maintain pressure with your finger on that string as you slide up. So, and then he's down to an F sharp again, and then he does the same thing with his pinky. Hammer onto the 4th fret, and then you're gonna slide way up to the 11th fret. So altogether, it should sound like this. So your pinky's sliding all the way from the 4th fret G string to the 11th. It sounds really, really cool, actually. I love when he does stuff like this. And then you'd back down to an E, and that's the final chord of the song. No more, I promise. And that's the song. Hopefully this helped. This took a long time to like figure out. And I've got stuff I got to be doing. But I always appreciate you guys in the comments and everyone that watches these videos. And makes me want to make more of them. So I've got more on the way always. There's more tutorials I want to do. I'm going to be trying to do every song on No Future if I can, if that's possible. I don't know if they all have guitar, but Projector doesn't, and I managed. But that is because he can play it on a live stream. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Is it gonna take a lifetime? Is it gonna take a lifetime? I don't have a lot of time. Is it gonna be a good time?